Okay, so now we're on the second page here, and we're going to change this up a little bit. On the last page, we looked at if you have a graph, how you can find M, how you can find B. This time I'm going to give you different information. Writing the equation of a line given the slope, and this should say 1 point. So it's just 1 point. So let's say that I told you the slope was 3, and it went through the point 2 comma 4. That's a point on the line. So we're thinking y equals mx plus b. To write the equation, we're thinking y equals mx plus b. They give us the slope. They tell us that m is 3. So right away what we can do is take that and substitute that for m. So I'm going to rewrite it, y equals, and I'm going to put a 3 in here, times x plus b. Okay, now you don't really need the parentheses, but I've just got them in this case. Now, here's the problem. We need to solve for b, but you also have two other variables, x and y. Well, you can't solve one equation with three different variables in it. We need to know some other information. Fortunately, they give us more information. They say that 2 comma 4 is a point on the line. What that means, 2 is x, 4 is y, x comma y. They're telling us that if we substitute a 2 for x and work this thing out, that whatever b is, it has to give us a final value of 4 for y. If you plug in a 2 for x, you have to get a 4 for y. It's kind of like a function. So what we're going to do, I'm going to take, since this is on the line, I know that this has to make this equation true. The y value is 4, so I'm going to substitute that. The y is 4. We already know the slope is 3. And the x value is positive 2. So we get 4 equals, that's 6 plus b. Now we can solve this equation. You want to solve for b? Move the 6 to the other side. So let me put it over here. We have 4 equals 6 plus b. Go minus 6, minus 6. To move that constant, we get negative 2 equals b. Now the last part of this, we're not done. You have to write the final equation. Well, the equation is y equals m. Now m, we already said was 3, times x, and then plus b. The b value is minus 2. So we just write it like that. So you get y equals 3x minus 2. Okay, now let's take a look at number 8 here. We're going to do the same process. They give us the slope, negative 1 over 2. So let's write this, y equals negative 1/2 times x plus b. Y equals m times x plus b. Now we need a value for x and y to substitute. Well, they give us a point. X is 4, y is 3. So let's substitute 3 for the y. And then the x is 4 plus b. So whatever the b is, it has to make this true, because the 4 comma 3 is a point that's on that line. So now we're going to solve this. First thing we'll do, let's simplify. Negative 1/2 times 4 is negative 2 plus b. To solve for b, we got to move this negative constant. Let's go plus 2 plus 2. So we get positive 5 equals b. Now you're not done. Your last step is always to write the equation. Y equals m times x plus b. Y equals negative 1/2 x plus 5. Now I could check this if I want to. I can take the equation, and if I type, so negative 1/2 times x plus 5. Zoom, and I'll go down to number 6. Enter. So there's my graph. Now that doesn't really help me check. The question is 4 comma 3 really on this line? Did I do this right? I can go to the table. The table's in blue, right above the graph button. Second graph. Do we see 2 comma 5? or I'm sorry, do we see 4 comma 3? X is 4, y is 3, we're good. Okay, let's take number 9 here. M equals 2/3, we go through the point 1, -2. So the first thing we can do is we can write what we know, y equals m times x plus b. They give us the m. X and y. X is 1, y is -2, so we're going to substitute. The y value is -2, x value is +1 plus b. So we get -2 equals, that's 2/3, times 1 is just 2/3 plus b. That's a positive fraction. We're not going to treat that any differently from another constant. So if you want to move a positive 2/3, let's go ahead and subtract it. Minus 2/3, minus 2/3. Now when you do that, so we could take -2, subtract 2/3. -2, notice this is a minus sign, 2/3, equals, there's a decimal, I don't want the decimal, so I can go math. I can go number 1 is fraction, just hit enter, and then enter. So it's -8/3. So b is -8/3. So the last thing we need to do is write the final equation. Y equals m, which is 2/3, times x, plus b, which is -8/3. So I'm not going to put the plus, I'll just write subtract 8/3, and that is the end.